Thank you for attending the Cannabis Investor Webcast. I would like to thank our platinum sponsors, MJIC, known as the Marijuana Investment Company, Naturally Splendid Enterprises Limited, Nemus Bioscience Incorporated, American Green Incorporated, and Technical 420. Our speaker today is from Surna Incorporated, Brian Jorgensen, COO, incoming CEO. Brian, I will now turn the screen over to you. Give me a couple of seconds.
Thank you, Derwin, and welcome everyone to the conference this morning. I want to thank you for joining us. Derwin, just to check to ensure that you can see our screen adequately.
Yes, I can see your screen, Brian.
Perfect. Well, let's go ahead. So welcome everyone again, and I'd like to start the presentation with the standard disclosure slides with our safe harbor, and of course please read these at your leisure. These presentations will be available after the webcast online. Joining me today are a number of my senior staff members: David Traylor, Chief Business Officer; Randy Keene, our Vice President of Sales; Katie O'Block, VP of Marketing; and Tay Darnell, our VP and General Counsel. Later on in this webcast, there will be an opportunity for question and answer session. And at that time, my team and I will address your questions. I want to ensure you all get the best answers possible, and I've got such a great team here that I'm going to defer some questions to them when we get to the end. Just a brief introduction to Surna. We're an innovator in a high growth sector. Cannabis industry is growing like mad, as you all know. New market states are opening up on a regular basis. There's just so much energy in the industry that, and we're so well positioned as a technology leader that it's a good position for us and our investors to be in, to serve the market. As a result of that, we are experiencing high growth in our business, and our peers in the industry are as well. So it's a high energy. It's a good time to be in this industry, and the future is really bright. It gives us all the opportunity at this stage in the industry to essentially shape and form future technologies that will set production standards, control standards, delivery, supply chain. All these elements are part of what we are participating in, and I think we're shaping the way that in many ways commercial grows, and other growers are experiencing a startup in this industry. As I highlighted before, I've got a really great team here, and we'll talk at the very end of the session a bit more about our team. Now, I know a lot of you who are listening are quite familiar with the cannabis industry, and so a few of you are probably new to the industry. I'm going to apologize. We only have a short time today, so we won't be able to do a real deep dive in the cannabis industry, but I'll just do a few highlights. Certainly at the end we have some references on in our slide deck that you can read up and look at after the fact. But basically the therapeutic history in cannabis is well established. It's been around for many years in a variety of forms, and it's beginning to grow and grow. And I'm sure, as many of you are aware of, there's some recent U.S. Senate activity, and so it's very encouraging to see the groundswell from what we're doing in some of the starter states is starting to get some energy nationwide. Still a long road to go, obviously, but since we're all in this in the beginning, I think it helps us to shape and form the industry, very nicely. As we said, lots of growth. The perspectives are changing. Not only from Attorney General's perspective, but also Senate and other many states as they're coming online. Frankly, there's just a lot of value in the cannabis industry from the pharmaceutical, medicinal perspective, and from the casual users. So it's exciting where there's a lot of different segments and sub-segments in this industry that we can serve. Just just briefly, what does it take to grow cannabis? As many of you are maybe learning cannabis, well, the concept is you can grow cannabis anywhere, which is true, indoors, outdoors. In the case of where there's discerning customers and medicinal use, the cannabis is a crop that requires very tight growing parameters, tight temperature control. Need to have high intensity, regular lighting with managed schedules. Plant nutrient supplies. There's a lot of ways to affect the plant growth and the output of the plant, both from from the active effects of the plant are dependent on nutrient supply and how that's delivered. Humidity is an issue in particular, with disease control and other aspects on the plant. And to kind of pull us together, the grower needs to actively monitor and ensure that this entire environment is stable. And so what that does is it drives a lot of opportunities for businesses like ours to serve really underserved areas in the market from an infrastructure standpoint. And and there's been a lot of press and white papers on the line about the large energy footprint required for grows and the need to actively manage the entire supply chain, both from traceability, regulatory concerns, as well as just inventory management, the fundamentals of point sale, driving information back to the growers so that they can best optimize the supply chain. From this chart here, it's a little busy, but if you look at the bottom from left to right as we talk about the line of supply chain from seed to sale, there's a lot of touch points where, from an infrastructure standpoint, a company like ours can touch the entire supply chain, from nutrient control and conditioning, temperature controls for the grow, humidity controls, lighting inputs, intensities, timings, and to tie all this together, the software to control these systems, compliance monitoring and reporting, process monitoring to ensure that all the elements we put into a grow can maintain that solid foundation of a stable environment that can maximize growers' yields. So with all those touch points, we see through our involvement in the industry over the last 7-8 years as an overall company. Of course, Surna's been in the industry for a year, but through acquisitions, we've had a number of we have a lot of experience in the industry. We found the need to address lighting efficiency, the need to better yet improve temperature control in grows, especially as you get larger and larger facilities. It's quite challenging to handle temperature control, especially with traditional air conditioning, forced air systems. It's not a sustainable manner in which to grow in a large commercial facility, just because there's a lot of variability in the way a forced air system will work, and the distribution is complex in very large facilities. There's a need to control humidity. There is a lot of humidity in a grow room, and while you need to have some humidity, too much is an issue. And there's a lot of water involved with the grow, especially if you're working with hydroponic systems. So you want water in the right place, and in the air around the leaves is not necessarily the right place. And so that's important for humidity control. Better nutrient delivery. There's advantages in thermal conditioning of nutrients, as well as just the chemical compositions of the nutrients. And we have some solutions that are going to be addressing that coming up. And then again, as we said, the need to have all these pieces of infrastructure tied together so that you can monitor, control, and manage the system's optimized grows. Now, Surna has a number of solutions that touch all those main points. And so this just illustrates, for industrial temperature control, we have our chillers and air handlers. And on the right in this photo, we've dropped in our actual products that serve these elements of the market. High intensity lighting, we have a new reflector we're just putting into beta testing with some key growers, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. Active nutrient supply with chillers circulating in the supply reservoir, in the nutrient reservoirs, and our humidifier in the very lower right next to the air conditioning compressor type unit is covered by our dehumidifiers. System integration and data management software solutions that tie all these things together are an area where we're actively developing, and we're very excited about how that is going to fit in our overall technology roadmap. Just an illustration on it, showing how going from a cartoon to really a live commercial building plan. This slide illustrates where the various pieces of Surna equipment fit into what a commercial grow would actually look like. So back to our technology roadmap. We have a number of generations or phases in our roadmap. This year, our main focus is on our Generation 1 platforms for liquid-cooled systems and lighting products, along with liquid, and we have a couple of versions with reflectors, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But just basically, we have water-cooled reflectors that complement and work as a system with our liquid-cooled chilling platforms. But we also have, for other growers who are perhaps smaller or prefer other methods of cooling, we have air-cooled reflectors coming online in this market launch too. So we can serve a number of different segments, even within commercial and non-commercial grows. We're very excited about a new product, a new offering that we're developing this year in Generation 2, which is our new hybrid complex. This hybrid building really is designed to take advantages of the energy efficiencies of a traditional greenhouse, but yet offer the control of the indoor climate and the security of an indoor grow of a hard wall building. As we get more and more into this in the coming quarters, we'll have a number of announcements, and we feel that this really is the ultimate in integrating many of the Surna platform products, along with really some cutting-edge technologies and some patented designs that will really be a breakthrough in our industry. Generation 3 is our software platforms and the opportunity to work with big data, to drive big data from the point of sale all the way back to the grower, so that further enhances the ability of the growers to optimize their supply chain, select the right crops and varieties to grow, and focus on key chemical characteristics of their plants as they're trying to target certain markets. So that's very exciting. It's out there a ways, but we're actively looking at opportunities to work in that space. Along with the software platforms is more of a ground level grower control for automation integration of the grow facility, and we're working on a bottoms-up approach to integrate our hardware platforms with a grower's process and inventory control systems, and we're looking at our various options on how we can get to that as well as we work through our various phases of development. Gen 1 here again, we're talking about cooling and lighting. These are products that we are actively selling now. We have a number of customers, both historically and the sales are very strong in this area. We have the liquid-cooled chillers, air handlers, dehumidifiers, and reflectors as part of the Gen 1 lineup. You see in the photo in the bottom right is our Surna chiller. This is kind of the core technology that we've developed over many years, first as Hydro Innovations and now under the Surna umbrella. It offers high efficiency, much higher efficiency than forced air systems, and it has a price point that is very attractive in the marketplace relative to other options that commercial growers can obtain. Along with that, we've added into the system, we're just launching the beta now, our Surna reflector. So it offers extreme lighting efficiency. It focuses the light directly onto where the plants are growing, and there's less wasted light energy going off into aisleways and other ambient spaces. So it allows the grower to again further reduce the energy consumption footprint, but still put the same amount or more light energy or photons into the area where the plants need it. The very unique feature of this reflector is it has an active cooling system, so that it does tie in with our chillers, but also we have air-cooled options as well. So it again better manages the overall ambient need of temperature control in the facility. Our Gen 2 is our hybrid facility. Again, we're very excited about this, and I think I've already talked a lot about it, but the great advantages of a lower energy footprint with the security of a hard wall system, and it gives you all the controls for environmental management of carbon dioxide, mix management. It minimizes, reduces opportunities for cross-pollination, diseases, insect infestations, things that you would have problems with in a greenhouse are solved with this system, plus the added security from a hard wall system as well. So we're very excited about this product, and really can't wait until we get our first system up and running, and we can demonstrate with data the effects of this building can have in the marketplace. Gen 3, again, we've talked about the software platforms, and as this industry grows and develops, there'll be more and more state regulatory and hopefully in the future federal regulatory requirements, and those require the management of information, data, tracking. There's, in many cases, much of my background is in the medical device industry, and which I'm very accustomed to the regulatory requirements, data tracking, reporting in a regular environment from that perspective. Those kinds of things are likely coming to our industry, and we want to be positioned so we can serve that market in a professional way that makes it easy and safe for a grower and the entire supply chain to comply. The other demands are the banking solutions, and there's a lot of activity going on in their industry. Consumer touch points, again, big data management. There'll be a lot of data as more and more consumers are involved in this industry. And then, of course, growing production monitoring and control with our automation integration aspect. We want to tie all that together as an overall architected platform, and we really intend to be as part of that market to better serve our growers. Gen 4, we talked again a lot about automation integration. I don't think I'll get too much deeper in this slide. It's just basically a foundation of as the industry grows, price pressures on the cannabis product will cause growers to need to have more and more efficient operations. This is just a natural integration of existing and new technologies we're developing to give tools to the growers so that they can operate more efficiently. So this year, we're focusing on results as a business within our four walls. We've got an extreme sales growth happening this year, and to stay on top of that with new states that are opening up, new customers, new commercial grows in the existing states, we're working to expand our sales staff and our distribution channel to make sure that we stay on top of that and we can serve the new customers as they're coming online. Of course, along with the sales channel, we need to be lockstep with optimizing our production operations, supply chain, our installation services, and in particular with our engineered-to-order products for full systems for commercial growers. We're adding resources in those areas as well. So we want to ensure that we stay on top of the growth curve with the customers and with the opportunities, and that's going to result in performance throughout this year and the coming years. To keep our growth active on top of and above just the natural growth curve of new customers is driving new product introductions, new technologies, bringing new offerings to our customers on a regular cadence to continue to drive that growth. And along with that, there'll be, we have a high investment in R&D resources to ensure that we do have a continuous product innovation cycle going. And we always, of course, are looking for other opportunities outside of our four walls for products and companies that are good partners that will have synergy with the Surna business. Talking about revenues, this is our, clearly an area of focus for all of us for a variety of reasons. A recent survey from CapIQ places Surna 7th out of the 60 public cannabis companies. We had a very strong year last year, and as you can see from our sales channel, we have a number of areas in which we can draw sales from brick and mortar resellers, online distributors, and through our own internal direct sales force. As a result of all the hard work in sales and through operations last year, we now have installations in all legalized U.S. states and Canadian provinces, and there's just been a solid trend of quarter-over-quarter sales growth. I can't talk about future sales specifically, but I'm very confident that with the trend in the industry, we should really follow that quarter-over growth trend in our sales. Again, to support a strong sales force and the momentum in the marketplace, we are working very hard to scale up our operations, ensure that as we're scaling up operations, we're employing the latest in lean process concepts, value stream mapping, ensuring that we're satisfying the operational needs to get our products out the door on time at the highest quality. Basically, my operations team, their goal is to absolutely delight the customer by getting high-quality products to them when they want it, and that it's working right and it stays operational. There's a number of elements that lead to that, both in the fundamental design of our product with redundancy, but just in general, we have very few callbacks from our customers in our existing customer base on service and repair requirements. That's an awesome way to start off in this kind of marketplace, especially we're growing. It really lends ourselves to having a scalable organization. Again, this also ties into as we're working with lean production systems, we'll be able to have an agile manufacturing space so that we can respond to the new products and technologies. We can insert those into our production lines so that we can maintain the flexibility that many of our customers demand in our engineered-to-order products. Product development, again, it's key. It's going to keep our future pipeline of revenue rolling. Frankly, we've got a great team in R&D, a number of engineers in a variety of disciplines, thermal engineers, optics and photonics engineers, electronics controls, embedded systems, as well as application level engineers who are working on the building plans for our customers. We're going to continue to develop and innovate new products. Our pipeline is very rich. We have many ideas that we can work on to serve underserved elements in this industry and to help set the platform on how an efficient cannabis industry can grow. And we're just flat excited about the things that we can do for our industry and our customers. It goes without saying that our engineers are high skilled, and we have a focus on ensuring that the products that we do develop and put into the marketplace are reliable, and our track record is showing that we do have a good reliability record. And we're continuously improving and iterating our designs to ensure that we stay on top of manufacturability, and it also allows us to scale up our operations in this fast growth industry. Intellectual property is critical for us, being as a pioneer in the industry in many aspects for infrastructure. We do have an active IP portfolio developing. We have a number of patents, actually 9 patent applications currently in process in the U.S. Patent Office. And we're continuing to bring in new ideas as we begin working more and more with growers across the nation, different climates. It's driving new needs and new technologies so we can serve the growers' needs. We're just absolutely going after every opportunity that we can to make sure that Surna is, bar none, the industry innovator. And I think the responses that I get back from my team that are at conferences and expositions, clearly in the first 2 months I've been here, when I hear my people come back and I hear unsolicited comments from customers and show participants that, boy, your speaker at the show, Brandy was at the show, she was the smartest person in the whole conference. When you hear that, that really tells you you've got something special going in a company. And we hear that about many of my staff members who are in the circuit working on conferences and expos. Which leads into what's coming up. So a lot of exciting things. We have a very busy conference schedule coming up. A number of our staff members are facilitating panel discussions, and our speakers, Stephen Keene, one of our co-founders, is doing the closing presentation at the coming NCIA Cultivation Management Expo in Seattle, Washington. That'll be next week. So I certainly would encourage any investors or interested parties to participate in these conferences. They're highly informational, and we get a lot of voice of the customer in a very quick manner of time on providing us opportunities and not only in product development areas but also in how we can better serve the market. Very active in these states. Obviously, I can't talk about our upcoming financial statements, just to let you know that it is coming, and I'm very encouraged with how our performance has been in the past. So just very briefly, this is our team at Surna. We have over 30 professionals in our organization: sales, marketing, finance, engineering, R&D, applications engineering, production, field installation teams, and this doesn't even begin to show our channel partners at our distributors and reps, and you know, it's again exciting to have a great bunch of people here who are all heads up, and they're running fast to make sure we're serving our customers. We have a lot of opportunity, and this is a great team to get the work done for our customers. Of course, the team of professionals is key. But a group of people without direction is just a group of people, and so I'm very encouraged that as I've come into the business, the quality of the leadership that is here at Surna, and this is the highlight of some of my chief staff members: Doug McKinnon, CFO, David Traylor, Brandy, Tay Darnell. Of course, many of you know Tom Bolich had brought his entrepreneurial skills into the business with us last year, and he was the right guy to get the super kickstart that we needed as an organization to really leap on top of the curve in the growth of cannabis. And of course, he's leading us in the leadership role in the next month, and I'll be gradually stepping up into that leadership role. Frankly, with the combined experience of over 100 years in industry and many years and broad experiences in the cannabis industry, in particular Tay Darnell's experience and Brandy and Stephen Keene's experiences in the industry directly, I think bar none, we really have the best leaders and the best visionaries to serve the infrastructure market in the cannabis industry. I'm very excited. I'm very encouraged. It's a great team. It's a great industry. It has so many aspects to it, and I really appreciate all the help that the investment community has provided us in this last year to get us up on top of the growth curve. And I'm just looking forward to an awesome year this year and moving into next year as well. It's a great ride, and it's great to be able to touch so many aspects of the community that enjoy cannabis. Again, in a summary, just want to wrap up by saying, we feel that we are, with our multidisciplinary team and the rest of our organization to back it up, we're really the innovation leader for this high growth cannabis sector. We're positioned well to grow and positioned well with a full product development pipeline to continue to drive growth for our business and to provide leadership in how a cannabis industry infrastructure should be set up. Revenue's growing and evolving off of our core technology platforms from the liquid cooling, but it comes together into the other areas where we can serve the market. Our key focus is bringing operational efficiencies to our growers and that's primarily where we're going to be targeting many of our new products in the coming years. The cannabis future is bright, and our technologies are going to be right along with that. And no pun intended, our reflector provides the best light on the industry, I think, than anyone is currently experiencing. And I'm looking forward to seeing the reactions from our beta customers as we get our data back on the performance of the light. Our preliminary tests are showing that it's leagues above any of the other competitive lighting products in the marketplace. So it's exciting. Again, I'm very thankful that we've got a world-class team here in staff and leadership. And as you get to know Surna more and more throughout the coming quarters and years, I'm confident that you're going to agree that we do have the right stuff here to serve the industry and to serve the investment community that are interested in participating. So with that, that concludes my presentation. Derwin, I'm ready for you to take control of the screen and move us into the Q&A section.
All right, Brian, I'll leave the screen, your PowerPoint up. Maybe they want to write down your contact information. So give me a couple of seconds to queue up questions.
Great.
Can you give any color on Tom Bullock's departure? And could you give any examples of his contributions while CEO?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. And so I'll address the latter part first. So in general, Tom brought a lot of energy to the organization, and he brought a broad network of both investors and a high public profile to the industry, which really put Surna as an organization on the map. Tom is a great innovator and entrepreneur. He brought the right kind of energy to get a good kickstart in the company. Tom is quite visionary, and his vision in combination with Brandy's and Stephen's visions on what we can do for the industry was really a dynamic start to the organization. Tom also brought the element of leading larger organizations, which helped in the rapid growth accelerated aspects of last year's growth and developing the team. And Tom was able to attract some very skilled engineers and technology professionals that help contribute to our organization. As far as Tom's leaving, and unfortunately, I've only known Tom for a couple of months, so I think probably the best part to talk about kind of that sequence of decision process. I'm going to turn that over to Tay. Tay Darnell has worked with Tom much longer, and I think you can articulate that answer better.
And hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. And I think the answer there is really simple. I mean, Tom is really a great execution startup guy. We're now at a point with the company that we're really focused on infrastructure and executing on the supply side, manufacturing and delivery of technology. And Brian is the right guy for that. So really for the company, for Tom, for the industry, for everyone right now, it just made the most sense timing-wise. And as you see, Surna continues to deliver technologies. The core team is exactly the same. And really the only thing you won't see is Tom Bullock at conferences anymore. So internally there are no changes. And we're incredibly excited to have a guy like Brian leading the infrastructure and technology side.
Great. Thanks, Dave. Next question, please.
Next question, Brian. How will your leadership differ from that of Tom's?
Okay. Well, that's a great question. So as Tay mentioned, Tom was an excellent startup mode, rapid acceleration type entrepreneur. And the difference between Tom and me is my fundamental value that I bring to the organization is on the execution side of the business. My experiences and my skills lay in taking a fast growth organization that's ready to go from hyper growth into a fast growth, but in a controlled manner with processes and communications, and beginning to drive more the execution of the demand and the needs of the customer all the way through the engineering, sales engineering, manufacturing, and supply chain to ensure that we execute on the orders that we receive. So execution from the product delivery standpoint is an area of focus that this company needs right now to ensure that we continue to deliver products in the time frame that our customers expect. That's the area of focus that I'm able to provide, and that's my fundamental base. My background is over 25 years in high technology and technology manufacturing and delivery to customers, and this is an area where Tom's experience is more on software and web-based products and processes. Wasn't going to provide the full picture needed for Surna to continue to grow and to serve our customers. This is the area that I bring to the table. Tom and I met a few months ago, and he realized that he needed to have a solid operator for this organization to drive excellence and execution and customer satisfaction, and that's the area where I'll be focusing. In addition to just the operational excellence side of my leadership abilities, I have many years involved in R&D, product development, and regulatory approvals for a variety of technologies, both in hard goods, commercial, industrial, automation products, but also medical device industry, life sciences. So there's other aspects that I'm bringing to our product and technology platform vision that will really begin to go from a very broad visionary aspect of the Surna business industry to a very focused area where we can be excellent in driving the right products at the right time to our customers. And this is an area of discipline, and it's a process in developing products and technologies, and that's an element also that I'm bringing to the Surna organization as well. Next question, please.
Next question. Will you consider additional beta testing for Gen 3 and Gen 2? Did you hear that question?
Sorry. Yes, thank you. So yeah, naturally, as we're developing new products, there will of course be beta tests. In the natural course of developing and launching a product before it goes to a broad marketplace. Especially, naturally, especially in the software realm, there's always a number of alpha and beta, and then pre-release tests, key customer focus testing, and pre-production launch activities. So here again, with my background in product development process, and program management, for each product there will be a specific development test and market launch activity that will go along with that to ensure that when we do release products to the marketplace, that they are high quality.
Okay, next question.
Excuse me. I do want to add though that in these various phases, one thing that you have to be cautious about is not over-testing and being overly cautious. Risk-averse with the products. We want to ensure we have high quality, but actually we're not going to drive so much cost into testing of our products that they become financially non-viable for our customers. So there's for each of our products, one element that we're beginning in our development programs is program management with business planning, making sure we have a strong business case. We have fixed budgets that we work off of to ensure that as we develop products that we get to the marketplace with a cost profile, both from the development cost and from the market price perspective as well. So I just want to make sure that there's a balance there, and that's one of the elements that I certainly bring to the table with my many years of product development experience. Okay, sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
All right, next question. What are the largest barriers for growth that the company faces in the industry, and what does the company plan to do to overcome those barriers?
So I think I'd like to turn that over. It's more of a business development type question, and I'm going to turn that over to David Traylor to talk about as in more specifically. But yeah, there are always challenges in staying in a high growth market, and the product development, the capitalization, working capital is a challenge. Across any growth industry, and but to get more specific on that, I have David focusing in this area of concern for our business. I'll let him start.
Hello, thanks everybody. This is David Traylor. Thanks for joining us, taking time out of your day this morning. Yeah, the question with regards to the largest barriers to growth, I think the interesting thing with that question is I don't think there's any doubt that there's growth in the sector. Quotes that we follow, 30 to 40% per year over the next 6 years. So certainly there's the growth is not a barrier. I think the barrier is going to be executing and making sure that we can deliver the best product, the best technologies in the time frames necessary to remain competitive, competitive against other companies that may be developing the same technology either now or in the next few years. And that's why I think you see the strategy that we're doing, which is around execution, patents, and innovation. If we can combine all those three together, we want to make sure that we have an insurmountable competitive advantage to compete with that growth. Thank you.
Thanks, David.
Okay. Next question is, what is your view on the head count at Surna?
So at this point, we're fairly right-sized in the organization to serve where we're at in the marketplace and to serve the next growth phase. As we're growing, we do maintain flexible workforce, and that many of my staff members are multidisciplinary, and we shift and modify roles accordingly so that we can stay on top of the customer requirements. We look at the head count on a regular basis with my staff to ensure that we're not creating bottlenecks as we're growing. It's just fundamentally a measured approach. I can see that as we're increasing our revenue, we are going to be increasing other elements of our business to keep up. So fundamentally, I think we're in fairly good shape from a headcount standpoint, and we've got a very eager and high talented workforce pool in the Boulder, Denver proper area, where as we grow, we certainly have access to the right skill sets and the right kind of energy to bring into our business.
Okay, next question. This is becoming an increasingly crowded marketplace. How will you be reaching out to potential clients? What are your marketing plans for the next 2 years?
I'll turn that over to Katie, our VP of Marketing, to address that question.
So as of right now, this is Katie. Welcome, everybody. Good morning. So as of right now, I've seen a trend that the industry is still very much word of mouth. It is still very much community driven, given where the industry has come from. So this year we're still very much focused on conferences, networking events, joining you all in webcasts early in the morning. We also are developing an online digital content strategy. What's the first thing you do when you want to start anything? You Google it. That's pretty standard these days. So we are working on a digital content strategy, blogs, videos, Google Hangouts where you can ask us questions, anything that allows us to be connected directly to the consumer via the internet is the first step in that digital content strategy. So that's really where we're headed from here. And then, of course, there's the given of social media platforms and connecting with our customer that way as well.
Okay. Next question. Who are your main competitors in the industry?
Great. A great question. I'll turn that over to Brandy to address that.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is Brandy.
it's really an interesting question when people ask me about competition because, frankly, there is no manufacturer of climate control industry or climate control that is focused on this industry. So our competitors really are companies that do commercial HVAC primarily as far as climate control is concerned. Once we can reach our market and educate our market, then frankly it's not an exceptionally difficult sell. Our system is manufactured for this purpose. We are not repurposing something else. As to future technologies, I would say, you know, with the reflector, obviously there are a lot of reflectors out there, but again, once we educate our client base and they understand how our reflector works and what its benefits are against those other reflectors, which is, you know, increased light on target, dramatically better efficiency, all of those things, then I think that we're going to be in pretty good shape there. A hybrid building, obviously, we'll be looking at other greenhouse technologies as competitors. Again, our technology is leaps above that, so I don't have any concerns.
Great, thanks, Brandon.
Well, that concludes our Q&A session. We want to thank Surna. We appreciate Surna's transparency and proactive effort to inform the investment community. Our next presentation is at the top of the hour, and we thank you, Surna, for presenting.
Well, thanks for the opportunity, everyone, and to all the listeners today. I hope we've done a good job in expressing kind of the spirit of where we're going as a company, and you know, and back to the change in the way from Tom to me as a leader. I hope we've demonstrated that we've got a solid team here in this organization. Surna is about all the team members in the group here, and I'm looking forward to serving you and the investor community, and also the users and growers in the cannabis industry. Again, thank you, and have a great day.